So Pinterest has been haunting me with polka dot outfits. I see polka dot dresses, polka dot skirts, polka dot tops, literally polka dot everywhere I go, and I couldn't stop thinking about polka dot fabric. So I went fabric shopping, and guess what I found? I ended up finding two polka dot fabrics, but since I was on a $10 budget, I couldn't get both, so I got one of them, which was the black one. First project is a dress, and these are my inspo. The pattern has long sleeves with a corset tie, which will be really suitable for the dress I want to recreate from Pinterest. Let's go ahead and assemble the pattern. I assembled all of the pattern pages. This is the back of the dress, that's the front, and this is the sleeves. We need to stop everything for a moment. I just got something I've been wanting for such a long time, and you guys are probably gonna love this. Oh my goodness! Look what this is! I finally got a dress form or a mannequin, whatever. She is looking cute. Okay, I'm gonna set this up and then we can continue with the project. Oh, I'm so excited! Look at her! Ooh, look at her! Ah, I love you! You're just gonna be my new best friend. I'm so happy that I got you. Okay, you have a head now. Hopefully it's the right size. Okay, I need to check if the measurements are correct. So this is my shoulder point. Okay, that's perfect. This is my bust. Okay. And this is my smallest part of the waist. Okay, that's good. Everything is good. The most important thing to check is to see if I can use pins on the dress form because some dress forms are made out of plastic and you can't really pin through it. So let's check. I'll try to pin this fabric onto the mannequin. Okay, I really like the fact that it's not slipping. And let's see if it's pinnable. It is pinnable. Guys, I feel like a fashion designer right now. Guys, I realized that you could get two types of dresses out of this pattern. So if you follow this bigger line, you would get an extremely flowy dress. And if you follow the smaller line, you would get an A-line dress, but with a little bit flow, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to cut out this line. The size that I'm going to be cutting out is a size extra small and we need to add seam allowance. The pattern does not include seam allowance, so hopefully I don't forget to add seam allowance. So quick spoiler, I did forget to add seam allowance. You will definitely see me regretting that later on in the video. Other than that, I changed a few things in the pattern like the sleeve length and the V neckline in the front. And because this was my first time using this pattern, I made a mock-up first to make sure it fit me or I needed to make any adjustments to the pattern before I had cut into the polka dot fabric. And of course, it was just another reason to use my new mannequin. We have a problem. So the front looks pretty good, right? There's like nothing wrong with the front. But when you come to the side, there's like so much space around the armhole and I can't figure out how to fix that. But overall, I really like the front of the bodice. I think I'm going to attach the sleeves and see how it's gonna look with the sleeves. It's the next day, and yesterday we spent the day making the mock-up. I'm actually really glad that I changed the v-neck. So if I did use the pattern's v-neck, it would be about till here maybe, and people would kind of be able to see my boobs. So I'm really glad that I changed the v-neck and made it higher. And the back looks fine now since we attached the sleeves. But yeah, I think we're ready to cut through the fabric. I was definitely not ready to cut through the fabric since I forgot to add seam allowance. But yeah, I had 6 meters of this fabric, and honestly, placing all the pattern pieces was a bit of a puzzle because I was trying to save enough fabric for the next project. I'm honestly so curious to know if I'm the only one who likes cutting fabric on the floor. I know a lot of people hate it, and I get why. You're basically crawling around the floor and giving yourself back pain, but I feel like I get way more space doing it this way. Ta-da! Everything is finally ready, and we can kind of see the dress coming together. And this was like the longest strap I've ever made. It's about 200 centimeters, so you could say 80 inches. And this is everything we'll be using. This is the two sleeves. That's the front of the dress, back of the dress, front neck facing, back neck facing. We can finally start sewing. Just kidding, we were not ready to start sewing. I had to zigzag stitch all around the fabric. It was fraying everywhere. If you don't have an overlock machine, you already know the pain of doing a zigzag stitch for hours. But yeah, one of my goals for this new year is definitely to get an overlock machine. It would probably save me hours of time and just make things easier. I just realized I made a huge mistake. And guess what that is? I forgot to add seam allowance. I literally told myself, let's not forget to add seam allowance. Hopefully, I don't forget to add seam allowance.
Hopefully, I don't forget to add seam allowance.
And guess what I did? I forgot to add seam allowance. Oh my goodness. I really hope that this dress is not too tight. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Okay, I'm just gonna continue sewing and hope that the dress is not too tight. Just a quick note, this pattern has a full video tutorial, so this isn't a step-by-step on how to use the pattern, it's just how I sewed it together. The first thing that I did was attach the front neck facing and made small snips in the seam allowance. Then I attached the front and back pieces right sides together and added the back neck facing on top of the wrong side of the front piece. I know it sounds a little confusing, but this is just the way I prefer to do my neck facings. After that, I moved on to making the loops for the corset tie at the sides of the dress. The pattern calls for 3 loops on each side, but for some reason I decided to make 4. I used a black satin ribbon and made the loops about 2 inches long, then sealed the edges with heat. And yes, I did burn my fingers a few times, but that's fine. Once the loops were attached to the back piece, I placed the front and back right sides together and stitched from the armhole all the way down to the hem. So far, this is what it looks like. Very plain and boring, I know, but trust the process. And this is how the 4 loops turned out. It really blends in with the fabric, and I'm really glad I went with the black satin. And the next step will be probably attaching the sleeves. You could just leave it like this and make the dress sleeveless, but since I'm making this for winter season, I'm gonna attach the sleeves. And yeah. The dress is almost done. And the next thing I want to do is make the strap for the corset tie around the back. I can't push the strap anymore. The loop turner isn't long enough and I do not know what to do. I had no choice but to cut off 20 inches just because it was way too long. So if you do have any other ways that I could turn a long strap right side out without a loop turner, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, turning this right side out with the loop turner was a nightmare. It kept fraying so much, and once the strap was fully right side out, I pushed the raw edges with a screwdriver back in through the strap so the raw edges are hidden inside. The back of the dress was looking so cute, but I really do wish that I could make the straps longer so it could go through all 8 loops, but since the strap was too short, it was only able to go through 4 loops, which was kind of annoying to have the extra loops poking out. After that, the only things left were attaching the elastic and hemming the bottom of the dress. I love this. I feel like I'm wearing Chanel. I feel classy. I feel elegant. I love the flow to the dress. I'm really happy that I cut the smaller size and not the bigger size. But yeah, I'm so happy. I love this dress so much. I think I did a really good job with recreating something I saw on Pinterest. And yeah, this polka dot fabric, I am obsessed. I mean, just look at this. As you can tell, I was very happy with the results. It's really amazing how you can see anything online and make it at home yourself with just a sewing machine and some fabric. There's also two ways you could wear this dress. You could either tie the corset at the back, which is the way I prefer to wear it, or you could tie the corset at the front. Overall, I think this dress turned out beautiful. It's modest, elegant, and chic at the same time, which is the kind of style I like. Now that I'm done with the dress, I still have 3 meters left of this fabric. And since we're on a $10 budget, I can't spend more money on more fabrics. So I'm gonna use the leftover to make a pair of pajama pants. The pattern that I'm using for these pajama pants is a free pattern, and I've actually used this free pattern to make pants before. This is one of them. As you can tell, I wear them quite a lot. They're so comfortable and I want to make another pair. I'm not kidding when I say I'm obsessed with using this pattern. These pants only took me 2 to 3 hours to make. If you're a beginner and want to make a pair of pants, I highly suggest that you use this free pattern. So the way that I have my pattern pieces placed right now is actually the wrong way. You're meant to cut it this way. So you would have a side seam over here, but I don't want that. So I have the option to make things for myself easier and then cut it out in one time. But yeah, you could just place it like this. If you're going to do this method, this means that you're not able to add pockets on the sides of the pants, so please keep that in mind. Since this pattern does not include a waistband piece, you could either cut it separately or include it in the pattern, which is what I'm doing. I just added 3 inches to the top of the pattern and that was my waistband piece. And please make sure that your fabric is placed right sides together when you're cutting this out or this method won't work. Once everything was cut out, you should end up with a shape that looks something like this. Next, I clipped the two crotch pieces together with the right sides of the fabric facing each other, then sewed them using a 1 cm seam allowance and overlocked the edges. After that, I gave it a really good press because pressing always makes everything look so much better. Then I grabbed the center top and the center bottom of the pants and did exactly what you see me doing here in the video. It's kind of difficult to explain this part, but yeah, I clipped the two crotches together at the center, making sure they were aligned, and then clipped the rest of the seam. Basically, the part that goes below the crotch on both sides. Once clipped, you should end up with a sort of a V shape. I sewed that seam with a 1 cm seam allowance and overlocked the edges. Moving on to the waistband, I folded the top of the pants down by 2 inches all the way around to create a tunnel for the elastic. I pressed it really well so it would stay in place. Once that was done, I measured my elastic, which was almost 1 inch wide. So I folded 1 inch back down again, so it became a 1 inch tunnel instead. I hope that makes sense. Basically, I created a double fold hem at the top of the pants. Then I stitched all the way around the waistband with a straight stitch, making sure to leave a small opening so I could feed the elastic through later. After that, I measured around where I wanted the pants to sit, which was at my waist, and that came about 26 inches, so I cut my elastic to 26 inches as well. I attached a safety pin to one end of the elastic and slowly fed it through the tunnel I made earlier. Once both ends of the elastic were out, I overlapped them and secured it with a zigzag stitch. I gave it a little pull to make sure that the stitch was strong enough. Once I knew it was secure, I stretched out the elastic and it magically disappeared into the tunnel. The last thing left for the waistband was closing the small opening with a straight stitch. I'm almost done with the pants. I just need to hem the bottom. But other than that, I just had to try them on and see what they look like on me. And I love, love, love them. It's like giving me a mix of skirt and pants. I love it. They're so comfortable. Whee! It was getting dark at this point, so I couldn't film much more, but I basically spent the rest of the night hemming the bottom of the pants. After that, the pajama pants were officially done. I am never taking these pants off. They're so comfortable. I love them. They're honestly so cute. Like from far away, it kind of looks like a skirt, but when I open my legs, it's a pants. Skirt, pants, skirt, pants. It's like a two-in-one. I love it. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Not gonna lie, these pajama pants look really cute with heels. I think this is a cute winter outfit. I have a sweater on, I have cozy pants, and some heels. I think I look pretty fashionable for wearing pajama pants. I have nothing bad to say about these pants. They are perfect. And since they're elasticated, if I end up gaining weight or feel bloated after eating, I'll still feel comfortable wearing them since they're elasticated. These are definitely an essential that everybody needs in their wardrobe, and I think I'm going to be making 20 more of these. I could go to sleep in this, I could go grocery shopping in this, I could go out with friends in this. I could literally do anything in these pants, and that's why I love them. Before you go, I want you to do me a little favor, comment one of these emojis so I know there's actually people watching until the end, And that's it. Wait, that's actually not it. I would absolutely love to hear which project was your favorite. Was it the dress or the pants?